After crossing the region of the heart, we enter the first or the super mind of God. No words can express the condition which one feels there. There are only such symptoms as to give us an idea of this big region. What we gain in the region of the heart is beyond one's conception. Now we take the higher stage. The essence of the region of the heart lies here. The present form of the universe is due to the actions of that big mind. They're all power, no amalgamation, no light. Underline mode. Only power. No light and no amalgamation means no mixtures. We have said that calmness predominates in the region of the heart when it comes to its original form. Now, what kind of calmness prevails there is beyond one's conception, but in order to express it somehow or the other, I may say that if the calmness prevailing in the heart region were to be refined, it may roughly express the type of character of the calmness in the region of the mind. It is only an idea of calmness that now remains. In other words, the forgetfulness state of calmness is dominating there, which is not the only thing to be acquired. So, forgetfulness state of the calmness or a refined state of calmness. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಬುಜಿ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ ಟು 10th ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ 10th ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಟು ದ ಕ್ಷೋಭ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮೈಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಬಿಗ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಗಾಡ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಸೂಪರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಗಾಡ್. That is the mind region that he is talking about. Our Anubhava Shakti develops mostly when we enter into this region. It remains now on our part to feel. From here, things come in shape and light. There is motion. So, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಮೈಂಡ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 10 to 13th ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ there is motion. Invisible motions, when multiplying together with the idea of creation, increase the force downwards. The outcome is the innumerable varieties we find in the universe. It is beyond ethereal force. Here, he's talking about ether in the context of air. So that's why he's saying it is beyond ethereal force. So at the 10th point, air has no end beyond it. Air gets converted into essence. That's what we read. So that's what he's talking about. It is beyond ethereal force. Air does not blow there. This is the most powerful region of the God. For your understanding, you may call it as the powerhouse for setting the godly machinery working. The godly machinery is the heart region, 1 to 10. So the 10, 11, 10 to 13 is the powerhouse. So the machinery, the heart region, gets power from the powerhouse, which is the 10 to 13. Motionless things appearing in as invisible motion that excite vibrations are there and have great power. It is very difficult to explain this idea which can only be felt. Serena. So one simple example ಹೇಳೋದಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ motionless things ante, if you just look at the sky, there are a lot of stars. They all appear motionless. But as you go nearer to the stars, you can feel the pull of the stars. You can feel the force that's coming out of the stars, each of the stars. So something very similar. So many things appear here. There are no shapes, no sizes, no color. Everything is now gone. The size, the shape and color, all those things come down below the 10th point as we move towards the first point. As we move down the heart region, you get all those size and shapes. But once you go towards the mind region, what you have is only things which are appearing like invisible motion but has great force. And there is vibration. That's why that region between 11 to 13 is called as a region of vibration. Once you enter into the 13th point, there is vibrationless vibration. People may doubt how calmness can abide when there is motion. Imperceptible though it may be, I would say that there is calmness in the refined state and it is imperceptible just as the idea about the creation is expressed as imperceptible. Still, it is something after all. So there is calmness also, there is motion also, but invisible motion with the idea of the creation in the background. We have not yet come to the point expressed as zero or nothingness. When can we enter this state? Only when we make ourselves as such. We get power from the first mind to reach the point of zero. So this region between the 10th and 13th point is the big mind. Okay. Now it is also called as the Brahman's mind. Brahman has three bodies, no? So Brahman's subtle body is the 11th to 13th point. And that is also called as Avyakta, Avyakrita or Antaryami. These are all the words that is used for the big mind of God. What is the big mind of God? It is the Brahman's subtle body. That's the big mind. So we get power from the first mind to reach the zero state of zero. Now the first mind or the super mind of God is the Kshobh. So the power which is coming down the first mind, as it comes down, that power is something that we absorb, with which we actually, with the help of which we actually enter into the central region. That's what he's talking about. This is the state which even angels crave for. The air of the state can be felt by him and him alone who has abandoned all airs, who has become a living dead. So one of the requisitions for you to be is to be in the state of living dead condition. Only then we can absorb the power coming from the first mind, and with the help of it we can actually move into the central region. Divine effulgence now too vanishes, though still something remains. But where? Only a little way off, and then that too gives way. It means you are now making preparation for entering the stage you have to attain. The limit of the divine effulgence extends only a little way further, beyond which merely its conception remains. Go ahead, and that too is gone, and the expression now fails. The region of the mind is crossed. ಸೊ 13ನೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. 13ನೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಡೆಡ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಓನ್ಲಿ ದೆನ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ 13th ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಆಯ್ತಾ? How do you enter the 13th point? You have to absorb. That's why Daji says at the higher points, we are pulled by the next point. In the lower heart region, we are pushed by the power of the master. But in the higher points, we are pulled. Once we enter into the Brahmanda, the journey from Brahmanda up to the center is by the pull from the next point. So the energy or the power which is flowing from the first mind, which is the Kshobh, from there the energy or the power is flowing. So that power, as we come to the entry of the 13th point, we absorb that power which is flowing here. Suppose this is the central entry to the central region. We are on this side, and the first mind's power is on this side because the Kshobh is here. So the power flows down, and then what we do is, as we enter here, we absorb that power. Utilizing that power, we actually cross into the central region. So there are quite a few factors that needs to come into play for us to enter the central region. One is that our condition should be of living dead. Second is that even the idea of liberation now should have been given up. Our idea of the goal also is now given up. So that's why Babaji says you should have given up all airs. All airs means anything worthwhile that you think is also something. Because how can a dead body have anything? Does dead body have any thought about anything at all? So even the idea of liberation, even the idea of God, even the idea of source or center, everything is now given up. So only then that person can be called as a living dead. So once you enter there, you start absorbing the power of the first mind, which is there in the central region. After you observe that, master gives you a push from this side. He actually literally carries you in his bosom and then helps you deliver onto the other side. So you play a swing there. Uyale ಆಡ್ತೀರಾ. Uyale ಆಡ್ತಾ ಆಡ್ತಾ what master does is, after you have crossed the while passing through the Satpad, master will carry you like a kangaroo carrying its baby. Because only one person can pass at a time. So master carries you in his bosom so that you're only one. There are no two. So he carries you, crosses the Satpad. After the Satpad has been crossed, he'll give you a glimpse of all the conditions again. It's like yo-yoing. You will come all the way down to the first point, again go all the way up to the 12th point, again come down for the first point, again go back to the 12th point, all within a matter of 2-3 days. So that he is giving you momentum. It's like while you are swinging, so there's a wall on that side and there's a swing here. You sit on the swing and then you keep playing. You keep playing the swing in such a way that you get enough momentum so that once you leave the swing, you can jump over the wall. You remember that? That is exactly how you enter into the central region. You cross the ring and jump over into the other side. So master gives you that swing. It's almost like he's uh, like a person who actually pushes you from behind while you are playing the swing. ಉಯ್ಯಾಲೆ ಆಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಯಾರೋ ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ತಳ್ಳಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ನಾವೇ ಕಾಲಲ್ಲಿ ಆಡ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರನ್ನು ತಳ್ಳಿದ್ರೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು ದಟ್ ಸ್ವಿಂಗ್. ಉಯ್ಯಾಲೆ ಆಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಆಡಿಸ್ತಾ then he'll say, now you leave this uyyale and jump over to the central region. So that's how you actually enter into the central region. So ಉಯ್ಯಾಲೆ ಆಡ್ತಾ ಆಡ್ತಾ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಉಯ್ಯಾಲೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ರೀಜನ್ಗೆ ಜಂಪ್ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. ಸರಿ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಯಾರು ತಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ತಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ತಳ್ಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹುಷಾರಾಗಿರಿ. ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟು ಕತೆ. ಇದು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ರೀಜನ್, ಇದು ಮೈಂಡ್ ರೀಜನ್. ಸೊ ಮೈಂಡ್ ರೀಜನ್ 11th to 13th ಬಂದಾಗ ಅನುಭವ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಏನಿದೆ ಮೈಂಡ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ ಇನ್ವಿಸಿಬಲ್ ಮೋಷನ್ ಇದೆ, ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ವೈಬ್ರೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ, ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಶೇಪ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸೈಜ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಬರೀ ಕಾಮ್ನೆಸ್ ಇದೆ, ರಿಫೈನ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಮ್ನೆಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅನುಭವ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಾವು ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಇನ್ನೇನು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಹತ್ರ ಇನ್ನೇ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಇಂದ ಏನ್ ಪವರ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತೀರಾ? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ದ ಬಿಗ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಆಫ್ ಗಾಡ್, ಬಿಗ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಗಾಡ್. ದಿಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್, the 11th to 13th is this is the big mind. Why it is called as big mind? The entire creation or machinery of creation is managed by this big mind. So the 10th to first point, which is the heart region, this entire creation is managed by this big mind. So that's why this is the powerhouse. It supplies power to all the things which is there below the 10th point. So ಇದು ಬಿಗ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಗಾಡ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಗಾಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಷೋಭ್. ಕ್ಷೋಭಿಂದ ಪವರ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ದಟ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಆರ್ ಸೂಪರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕ್ಷೋಭ್. ಫ್ರಮ್ ದೇರ್ ದ ಪವರ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಡೌನ್ and then as it crosses the central region it becomes the big mind of God. From there as it crosses the 10th point it becomes the heart region. ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಉಯ್ಯಾಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಉಯ್ಯಾಲೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಹೆದರ್ಕೋಬಾರದು ಬಿದೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. ಉಯ್ಯಾಲೆ ಆಡೋ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ ಸುಮಾರು ವರ್ಷ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಉಯ್ಯಾಲೆ? ಗಣೇಶ್ ಉಯ್ಯಾಲೆ ಆಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಗಣೇಶ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ he has to work on himself to be able to play the ಉಯ್ಯಾಲೆ. ಉಯ್ಯಾಲೆ ಆಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ you have to play, work on yourself.
Yeah, in childhood I had played.
No, now you cannot go back to childhood to play the uyyale. Now, since you are quite big in terms of build, if you sit on any uyyale now, then that uyyale might not tolerate. So you need to work on making sure that the uyyale will tolerate you.
Now there are no uyyale also available in the park.
Since the uyyale is not available, Daji has put the swing in his house only. You know, many times when he does the dilse, he will be playing on the swing. So,
yeah, we have it at home. Yeah, correct.
But that swing will not help you to play too much. It's only kind of right?
Yes, yes.
So you need to have something very, very much bigger where you can jump over the other side. And when you are jumping,
I have one question. You said from 10 to 13 is a big mind. What about our mind, brother? Where does
Individual mind.
yeah,
See, the mind starts getting formed from the 13th point downwards. So as it comes down, the nature of the mind keeps changing. So as it comes down, so that mind, in fact, from the 9th point up to the 13th point is the divine mind, because we enter into the divine region at the 9th point. But anyway, the big mind is between 11th and 13th. As it comes down from the 10th point downwards, the creation starts. The creation in the form of visible creation, where you see the size, the shape, all those kinds of things. So as it comes down to the 6th point, the mind now gradually metamorphosizes into the Parabrahmandi mind and then the Brahmandi mind. And as it further comes down, it becomes the individual mind. The mind is still the same. What is difference is the influence or the impact of various things that we carry starts manifesting at different level. That's all. There's only one mind, which is the divine mind of God working through us. The first mind of work, God is working through us from the center up to the first point. Every one of us have the same mind. But the trouble is, we have put in so many things and we have attached the mind to the body. As long as the mind is attached to this physical body, it is called as the individual mind. Once the mind detaches from the physical body, now it starts acquiring its divine nature. So when the mind enters into the 6th point, then it starts remembering its divine nature and starts acquiring it. So after the individual mind, you have the 6th point where you have the Brahmandi mind. In other words, that Brahmandi mind has some characters of the individual mind also, has some characters of the Brahman also. Okay. So in other words, the Brahmandi mind is attached to the Brahman's physical body, not the individual physical body. So that's why we start thinking in terms of we consciousness at the 6th point. In the individual mind, we only think of this as the consciousness. So we think of I consciousness. So as you go into the Brahmandi with the mind will think, okay, not only I need to look for what is good for me, but we also need to look for what is good for everyone else. So that's the we consciousness. So in other words, you look for the goodness of every living being.
can we say that we consciousness is as dharma?
Hmm. Dharma is even further. That is you can say it's the starting of the dharma, manifestation of the dharma. It's starting because you have given up the gross individuality. Gross individuality is identification with the body. So you have given that up. So to that extent, you can say that you have now become more aware of dharma. You are not yet established in dharma. See, remember, Dharmaraya was very well versed in dharma, the codes. But in many situations, he didn't know what to do, what not to do. Because he did not know the subtleties of the dharma. We call it as dharma sukshma. So every time he is in a dilemma, not sure what to do, he'll call Krishna. Because Krishna knew the subtleties of the dharma. So he will guide Dharmaraya and Pandavas regarding what to do, what not to do. Because he knew the subtleties. Dharmaraya, being more attached to the body, like any other human being, he did not, he had the codes of the dharma. But where does this codes originate from? What is the basis for these codes? He did not know any of those things. So for that reason, he always used to depend on Krishna. The only time he does not depend on Krishna is when he is called to play the dyuta, the dice. And then you see what is the price that he pays for not taking consultation with Krishna. If he had taken consultation with Krishna, the Mahabharata war would not have occurred only. But anyway, Krishna also did not want that. He wanted the war to occur. So, no wonder Dharmaraya did not take any advice.
Krishna wants it because he has a bigger plan to bring people to more to.
Even before, because Krishna plans the war almost 24 years before it actually manifested. So he's been working on this plan since the time of his birth. What to do? So, so you cannot say that Dharmaraya deliberately chose. I think maybe he's also made to forget. so that Krishna's plan or the nature's plan can actually get manifested. And it's quite likely Dharmaraya also had some samskaras for which he had to suffer. So some samskaras from the past life. Like Bhishma had a samskara, no? So Dharmaraya probably also had a samskara which had to be cleared off. And so he does so many things in that particular episode. But the greatest of the people would do the biggest of the blunders. Remember that. The greatest of the people they will excel in doing the blunders also. Because they are great. So they are great in doing blunders also. They will not do chota mota mistakes. If they do a mistake, it will be a big blunder. And then you will be left wondering, how can this fellow do such a mistake? But that's the beauty of it. The greatest of the people, they make the biggest blunders. That's how nature is. It is proportionate. Because normally we think a great person will only do small mistakes. But that's not how it is.
And one more question, brother. Uh, as we know from after liberation, the journey is automatic. Uh, Even when we are in meditation, like after crossing the 6 points, is it automatic or you have to put effort?
See, that is different. Here, when you are still in the body, the journey is different. Because you still have the sadhana, you still have the possibility of evolution, you still have the guru's power behind you. So many things are actually going in your favor when you are still here in the body. So that is when you are devoid of the body, that is automatic. It's a very slow process actually, very slow. But when we are in the body, the process is very fast because so many things are going in your favor. The samskaras are getting worked on by nature, and you are having different opportunities to deal with the samskaras in a different way. So many things are there. So that's why we have to make as much as journey possible during our life here only. That's the best thing to do. So don't depend on this. Anyway, it is going to be automatic after 6 point. So I will only come to 6 point and take rest. Don't have that approach. As long as we are in the body, we should strive to get the highest possible uh, progression. That's why the urgency. That's why the importance of keeping the health of the body also. Okay, you cannot say, I want spirituality, I want my samskaras to come to Bhoga, so I will allow all the illness to flourish in my body. That's not the thing. ಸರಿನಾ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಭರತ್ ಬಂದ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೊರಟೋಗಿದೆ ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನಿಲ್ಸೋಣ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ 7:15 I think we'll continue with the central region tomorrow. There are quite a few points to discuss in the central region. I hope you have got a reasonable idea regarding how the journey occurs. ಆಯ್ತಾ So big region of big mind of God andre between the 11th to 13th, which is the Brahman's subtle body, and that is called as Avyakruta, Avyakta, or Antaryami, ಅಥವಾ Sutratma. So four names are there for this region. So Avyakta, Avyakrita, Sutratma, Antaryami. So all the four are denoting two different aspects of the Brahman's subtle body. Then when we enter into the central region, we now are in Hiranyagarbha, which is Brahman's causal body. Then after crossing Brahman's causal body, we come across the first mind or the super mind of God, and then we cross that and then enter into the infinite ocean, which is the latent motion. And that is the state of Tam. That's how the journey is. Okay. Sari agar. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lo Tama Bharat.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್ ನಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಸ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ತಮ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆಯೋ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಈಗ.